Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today we have another session with Michael in Germany. This is session 40, History in the Matrix, or rather his story in the Matrix. Welcome, Michael.
Yeah, welcome, Brad. Thanks for having me again. It's the second session of today and the 14th session overall. So congratulations we made it almost in the middle of the script.
Yeah, and isn't it interesting? It also is the 11th of September, 2021, 20 years since the attacks on the World Trade Center. And yeah, I always like to, pause for a moment to reflect on that day, as horrible as it was, that it was a very revealing time. It probably caught many of us way off guard. It sure did with me, Michael. I would have never imagined being able to come out of this deep sleep that we were in as a country at that time without the wake-up call, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
But welcome, Michael.
Yeah, welcome, Brett. Hello, United States. Hello, world. Hello, everybody who likes to get more into the truth. I hope I can supply some valid points, and I hope I can supply some sources where you can start your own research, because actually that's what I'm about to. I don't take anything for granted. I just want to ask questions. And so that we have seen that history is just a doctrine which has been set upon us in the school system, that we have to believe everything and don't question the authorities and don't ask questions, don't dare, because otherwise you won't get good grades and you won't have a life and you won't get a job. So you are dependent on defending actually also the doctrine in the school system. So that took me on that approach to look at science from the viewpoint that if I didn't know anything, that I would come up and just ask questions. And when it comes up with a simple start that their only legend has it, and most probably, and maybe you see that that's not proof and that's not science. It's just baloney. This is just doctrine. This is just what people try to fool you, and I don't want to be fooled. So session 40, history in a mix. History actually can mean his story. Yeah. So what is the story? Who is telling you the right history? And so I think we are in a matrix of a science system which has been set up upon us like a fly which has been trapped in the glass. Yeah. So it seems that we are part of the environment and everything else, but mentally we are being captives. We are still in Babylonian science. And I think I would like to change it, that many people out there, they really start to raise questions and they start to think for themselves, and they actually know that they have been lied every time, and every day, every year of their life, because Satan is the father of lies. If we are living in an Antichrist system, then Satan is the father of lies, according to John 8:44. So history in the matrix. You see, everything is interconnected. This is a pyramid. Of course, it's a pyramid. No, it's not Pythagoras at this moment, you see, but there are two pillars. The two pillars meaning the entrance of a temple. Okay, so what could it be? Could it be a Freemasoner thing? Yeah, it could be. Where is this pyramid located? Is it in Egypt? Is it in Saudi Arabia? Is it in Libya? Or maybe somewhere else?
Oh, could it be Rome?
Could it be? Could it be? Could it be magic? Yes, it's Rome. 100 points. Yeah. How come? How come? Yeah, this is a German I tried to translate. This is a pyramidal shape tomb of the Roman praetor and tribunal Gaius Cestus Epulo. He lived or he died especially 12 before Christ, so 12 BC. Okay, interesting. Yeah, after the captivity and after the conquering of Egypt through Emperor Augustus, there were Egyptian culture and rites were popular in Rome. Ah, interesting. You see, everything is mingled together. Everything. Everything. Yeah? And there are many, many more of these pyramids, especially the tomb of Romulus, one of the so-called founder of the city of Rome. And that reminded me of something else, because in 6056, Pope or Antichrist Alexander VII did refurbished, what's this? Away with you. This pyramid. So it must be of very importance that this bunch of stones is very interesting or very important for people because it's a place of worship, actually. Okay. Yeah. And so you see this pyramidal shape also can be found quite broad terms here in Europe. And you see there are also some other artifacts in Rome which resembles of Egyptian mythology, I'd say. This is an obelisk in, where is it? In Rome, in the Vatican, with a cross on top.
St. Peter's Square.
St. Peter's Square, yeah. Who never was in Rome.
Yeah.
And the cross being not a Christian symbol.
Yeah, and they actually imported this obelisk from Egypt.
Ah.
Yeah, it's very interesting. There's
what does the first commandment say?
Oh, thou shalt have no other gods.
Yeah, that's correct. But that was not the thing that I was referring to. It just came to me in an instant here. The first commandment, Exodus 20. What does that say?
Yeah, that's right. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, not into the land of Egypt.
Yes.
Out of the house of bondage, not into the house of bondage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Life could be so simple if people would read the Bible.
Oh, wouldn't it, Michael?
Yeah. The Vatican obelisk is an Egyptian obelisk on the St. Peter's Square before the St. Peter's Cathedral in Rome. The 25-meter high, which would be about, 75 feet obelisk, is not engraved. The problem is he is. Look at this. He is. Wikipedia once again. Yeah. And you see, this is also a symbolism of Freemasonry, of course. Not saying that Freemason has any connection to the Roman Catholic Church, don't get me wrong. But you see, that reminded me of the architects of the universe from the Freemasonry. And I just wanted to make a very brief point. That's why I named the episode History in the Matrix. It's for this occasion. There is a scheme that there is a great architect of the universe in every language possible or imaginable. For a lodge, Freemasonry, widow's son, royal arts, cardinal points, tools, square, compasses, etc., etc., etc. But where actually I'm referring to is the great architect, which has been mentioned here in Matrix 2. Why do they have television sets? Because people are being controlled by or being held in the matrix by a vision from far away. I can also back it up by Bible chapter.
An image, Michael, an image.
Yeah, it's 1 Samuel 9, because I'm doing that in German at the moment. 1 Samuel 9:9. Could you read it?
Oh, sure, of course. Before time in Israel, when a man went to inquire of God, thus he spake, come and let us go to the seer. For he that is now called a prophet was before time called a seer.
Yeah. And in German, a television set means a Fernseher, so a far-seer. And this television set here, television means actually a vision you receive from far away. Yeah, so this is just like a miracle box. You will be surprised, maybe some of you will be surprised, there is a special slang in American English where the television set has been described as the so-called idiot box. Yeah, and so people are being controlled by the television nowadays also. They bring you all the news, but not the truth, but all the news, or the latest news, or breaking news, and almost all time bad news. And this is Matrix. And if he is the one, Neo, the new one, yeah, if he is the one, why he is being in black clothes?
Oh, never mind the black sunglasses.
Never mind the black sunglasses. So you see that black is the absence of light. So he cannot be the savior. That's so obvious from the color scheme alone. Okay, he could be a priest, sure, but he's in black. So in black he would not dress in black because black is the absence of light. Okay, let's move on. The architect tells this so-called guy Neo, I'm the architect, I have created the matrix, I have waited for you. You see that if you are wearing dark sunglasses, it does mean that you don't reveal your eyes. Your eyes are being set in the occult, are the portals to your soul. Yeah, so he has something to hide. So the other one said that he was the one who created or invented the Matrix. And Matrix, he is the one, is an absolutely BS movie. Because it depicts sorcery and it turns everything around. So he is not the one. He's the one who is killing people, actually. This one, this guy Nero, Keanu Reeves, which can stop flying bullets. Which means he is immortal. Sort of, without sunglasses. But I have, every time I go to the Matrix, I say every time it's so easy to declassify or decrypt the Matrix because they are using a pale green color scheme. You see that the face of this Keanu Reeves character here, he has also a kind of a light green effect. Yeah,
Hue,
so it's
hue,
like,
you would call it, Michael.
how?
H-U-E, hue.
Hue, okay. Yeah, and it's the same. It's the same here in the later episodes, and you see that here is the matrix. The matrix is this pale green. This is the color of witchcraft. For somebody initiated, it's absolutely obvious what it is. It is a parallel universe, so to speak. Yeah, so this is the spiritual room. Now that's why they're depicting it in digit codes. It's usually here digits here, 1, 0, etc., digits here, because everything digital. Yeah. So the matrix. Yeah, it's all about this hue. You see, 0 and 1 and 0. Yes and no. Light and darkness, etc. So it's just 1 and 0. It's just on and off. There are no human emotions, nothing like. Yeah, it's just based on purpose.
Michael, can I make a comment?
Every time.
So I ordered this book that is called The Order of the Death's Head. And it's the story of the Hitler SS. And it's written by an author named Heinz Hohn. And on the back cover, it says, there's a quote here from Heinrich Himmler, and I just want to read it quick. It says, I know that there are many who feel uncomfortable when they see this black tunic. We understand and do not expect to be beloved by many people, unquote. Well, that's history. You know, today is a much different day. You have people dressed in black all over the place in this godforsaken world, Michael.
Yeah. And people are being fooled. And when I was starting doing lectures with Jörg, for example, or with Brett and on my own, I always thought, my, where shall I start? Where shall I end? I don't want to get people into the occult. I just want to make room for Jesus Christ, but I have to just expose all the lies out there. The people actually believe that they have discovered how the matrix works, and they don't, because actually everything around the matrix is a religious term. It's the one is called Morpheus, the lady is called Trinity, and the spaceship is called Nebuchadnezzar. Yeah, what would you expect? It's all about biblical and pagan goddess, but actually also they lie within the matrix, of course, because the people who have set up the matrix are very professionals. Yeah, there's if you look upon the producers of the matrix, you will get very, very big eyes, and they betray you simply by the pills. And people, they take that for granted, and it's absolutely BS. They say, you take the blue pill, the story ends, you wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. So you just take the pill and everything is back to normal. You won't be harassed by anything. You won't be surprised by anything. You just live your life. You just live on. You just live your life as you will, as you like. Do what thou will. But if you take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. That means if you take the red pill, I show you how the world actually is running. But what is the real purpose of the colors of red and blue? Sure, white is light, white is spirit, black is the absence of light, so black is a satanic color. But blue and red are mixed up here. Blue actually stands for the color that the Levite priests in the Old Testament, for the Old Covenant, were supposed to wear. So blue is a color of religion and faith. And red is the color not of love, that what many people mistake. In the occult, red is always or never the color of love, but the color of blood and sin. That's why for a satanic ritual, almost everybody wears the colors red and black. So blood sharing for Satan. So if people take the red pill, they take the pill of Satan. And when I say here, you stay in Wonderland and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes, then it is not to enhance people's knowledge or to get them on the narrow path, but to get them on the sinful path. Mm-hmm. So so the matrix. I
think what you're alluding to, Michael, is actually enlightenment can mean being illuminated by Lucifer, for instance.
Yes, the red pill means that, I show you my satanic world. I get you into sin.
Michael, I mean, simply what you're doing is you're telling the people openly what has been transpired to us through these movies and all of these instances in our youth when we had no knowledge of esotericism, how wicked this actually is.
Yeah, but they fool you again. They are liars. They are liars and deceivers, and we will come to that point extensively in the Middle Age. But they are liars. All the people who are in the industry, and of course, Matrix is satanic media. Matrix is just another movie to make big money, big time, and to create the illusion that you can create your own environment, etc., etc. You make believe, you want to believe, and I show you the rabbit hole, how deep the rabbit hole goes. Yeah, I show you all my satanic world.
It's interesting you bring this up, Michael, because it's the same in the music industry. They want you to ignore all of the Bible, and we're supposed to put our praise in men and worship music and the people that produce it. See, that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I'm not claiming that I'm totally correct in everything, because I'm just human. I can make mistakes, but I experience people who are getting numerous hours into explaining what the matrix actually means, and they don't even know the real occult meaning of colors.
Right.
So people are betraying one another, and people are. It's unbelievable how deep the deception goes. Even if there are some kind of truth tellers or some kind of channels, they don't get it right. They don't get it right, because of course this is all worldly shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's just wanted to show you. We can talk about the shape, we can talk about many things, but I just wanted to tell you that the red pill and the blue pill is a popular meme, so it is in the brains of the people what the actual meaning of it is, and I think they are in the esoteric circle, representing a choice between taking a red pill that reveals an unpleasant truth and taking a blue pill to remain in blissful ignorance. Yeah, red pill has nothing to do with truth. And if there is an unpleasant truth, it's the truth of Satan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you see that people, take a red pill, that had nothing to do with the real meaning of it. The red pill means, okay, I decide for Satan. The blue pill would mean, okay, I decide to go on the narrow path. If you would want to have a difference, you see that this is just a doctrine. This is a doctrine. This is not the truth. You don't have to swallow any pill. They want to take and to swallow.
You can reject the whole thing, Michael.
This is so subtle that they want you to you just take the medicine and then you feel fine. Yeah, you can see this also as an approach to convince people just take a pill, like the drug Soma of Aldous Huxley, Brave New World, where all people have been drugged so that they function in the doctrine, in the capitalistic or in the dictatorship of Brave New World. And let me tell you that Aldous Huxley himself, I realized, he died on the 22nd of November, same day that John F. Kennedy was killed. And he asked his wife, if memory serves me correct, to hand him over a huge dosage of LSD so that he will have a pleasant death. And these people, they write these books called Brave New World, where they want to drug everybody. And isn't that a very, very recent theme, a recent meme? Yeah, just swallow a pill, just a pick, just a shot, just this, just that. Yeah, this is sorcery. This is pharmakeia. It speaks about a pill. So you must take something into your body to have some revelation. It is some physical thing. It is not a spiritual thing. If it was a spiritual thing, you wouldn't have to take a pill. But of course, if to look behind that, you need the Holy Spirit, which is guiding us here. We have to pray that the Lord God allows us to promote and to publish these things, unless we will be restricted or banned or what else. But you have to really think about that they want you to swallow a pill to have a realization or to have the truth. So that is a so big illusion here that you just swallow a pill, nothing wrong with it. It does work. You see that because everybody wants to have the knowledge, everybody wants to be wise, and everybody is just about to take a shot or to take a pill. What's about it? Yeah, but it's irreversible. You can't get rid of it, even if you take a special drug. You can't get rid of it. It's called, with LSD, HPPD. Yeah, so it's a persistent thing. Yeah, you have hallucinations your entire life. Cannot differentiate if it's real or reality or if it's a vision or something like that. Yeah, if you see, you're very bad off if you take that. And you see, once again, the Matrix itself, with the movie The Matrix, Yeah, they are fooling you. They're making big money into get people thinking that this movie will reveal anything. Yeah, the only thing it reveals that we are approaching a digital identity, that we are approaching a digital age, and that every problem can be solved with a drug. Yeah, that's the same that Aldous Huxley promoted 70 years ago, almost 1930 something. The Matrix. Matrix in English comes from late 14th century, uterus or womb. I don't think that many people would know that. So it's actually there where life is born, or life is developing. Yeah. So the matrix it's like a womb. Oh yeah, take care of you. I feed you with everything. Don't worry. Yeah, you got no identity so far. You got no soul because you don't breathe on your own. So you cannot have a soul in the uterus, in the womb of your mother. Yeah. From Latin, matrix means pregnant animal. Yeah, you see that I don't like to talk about the matrix. I just talk about the matrix here in the sense of that we are being lied to everywhere. Yeah, that in Rome the obelisk has no engravement, and in Matrix they just exchange the meaning of the pills and they don't explain it properly, etc., etc. The general sense of Matrix is place or medium where something is developed. Yeah, that's what I said. Something is developed. In the womb, I think that a child has been developed. Yeah. You see that it's sorcery everywhere. It's like in Acts 8:9. Would you like to read it?
Oh, sure. Acts chapter 8, verse 9. But there was a certain man called Simon, which before time in the same city used sorcery, and bewitched the people of Samaria, giving out that himself was some great one.
Yeah, like Neo, the one. Yeah. People are giving himself out, oh, we are great, but they are just great because the people don't get it that they are using sorcery. They're using tools, they're using magic, they're using visions, they're using television, they're using cinema, music, radio, walkie-talkie, etc., etc. What's also green is the tabula smaragdina, the emerald tablet.
Ooh.
From Arabic, Law al-Sumurd is a compact and cryptic Hermetic text. Aha, you know who Hermes was. It was highly regarded by Islamic and European alchemists at the foundation of their art. And you know where the next sessions will be about. Though attributed to the legendary Hellenistic figure Hermes Trismegistos, so the three-kind high Hermes, the text of the Emerald Tablet first appears in a number of early medieval Arabic sources, the oldest of which dates to the late 8th or 9th century. What does that tell you? It is attributed to a legend. Once again, Hermes Trismegistos has never existed. Who do we know that from? Hermes is a god, the messenger of the gods in Greek, in the Greek mythology, from the Olymp. Medieval and early modern alchemists associated the Emerald Tablet with the creations of the Philosopher's Stone and the artificial production of gold. It has been widely popular with 19th and 20th century occultists and esotericists. Among the expression "as above, so below," a modern paraphrase of the second verse of the tablet has become an often cited motto. In the legend of the discovery of the tablet, of the emerald, it was in the grave of Hermes, which was supposed, legend had it, which was be found in the pyramid of Cheops, so in the big pyramid in Egypt. So that means that of Hermes, a wise guy of Greek mythology, his grave was in Egypt. Yeah, once again, Greek. What was it? The papyri magicae Graecae. The Greek magical papyri, Greek and Egyptian papyri, you see where it all comes from. It's from Hermes. It's from Hermes. This is secret arts of Hermes Trismegistus or Trismegistos. Yeah. The spiritual and foundation of the theosophic community of Madame Blavatsky is quoting in her book Isis Unveiled expressively of the Emerald Table. Isis Unveiled, Madame Blavatsky. You see, we are talking about Satanists here. Yeah? She says, with the last 7 wise men of the Orient, the remnant group of the Neoplatonists, Hermes, Priscianus, Diogenes, Aurelius, Damascius, Simplicius, and Isidorus, who fled from the fanatical persecution of Justinian to Persia, the reign of wisdom closed. The books of thought, or Hermes Trismegistos, which contain within their sacred pages the spiritual and physical history of the creation and progress of our world, were left to mold in oblivion and contempt for ages. They found no interpreters in Christian Europe. The Philalethians, or wise lovers of the truth, were no more. They were replaced by the light fleers, the tonsured and hooded monks of papal Rome, who dread truth in whatever shape and from whatever quarter it appears, if it thus clashes in the least with their dogmas. What she is saying, and she is correct, that's very rare by Madame Blavatsky, but she says that the books of thought are Hermes Trismegistus, because Hermes Trismegistus is the same deity which never existed as the Egyptian god Thoth. Yeah? Once again, Isis Unveiled. It would be an easy matter for them to reverse the tables and answer to this fling based on a fable, but by a fact proved by archaeologists and symbologists, namely that Seth, Adam's third son, and the forefather of all Israel, the ancestor of Noah, and the progenitor of the so-called chosen people, quote unquote, is but Hermes, the god of wisdom, called also Thought, Tat, Set, Thet, and Satan.
Oh, yuck.
Yes. That's theosophy. You mix everything up, you mingle everything, and there's everything for everybody, and everybody is happy. It's just about universal lie. I just want to say that I'm not making anything up. I can back it here by sources.
Boy, oh boy, talk about serpent worship, Michael.
Yeah, it gets worse. Moses as a priest of Osiris.
Yeah.
As far as affiliation goes, we agree with this pious writer, as we feel every day as certain that some of the peoples of Central America will be traced back to the Phoenicians and the Mosaic Israelites, as we do, that the latter will be proved to have as persistently stuck to the same idolatry, if idolatry there is, of the sun and serpent worship, I'm here, of the Mexicans. There is evidence, biblical evidence, she claims, that 2 of Jacob's sons, Levi and Dan, as well as Judah, married Canaanite women and followed the worship of their wives. Well, there is truth in the Bible that even Solomon did that. Of course, every Christian will protest, but the proof may be found even in a translated Bible. Which Bible? Pruned as it now stands. The dying Jacob thus described his sons. Dan, says he, shall be a serpent by the way, an adder in the path that biteth the horse heels, so that his rider shall fall backward. I have waited for thy salvation, O Lord. I don't want to read any further, but you see that I think also the Moses as a priest of Osiris gives you a big hint where all this leads from. Moses has been seen actually in the occult as a high-ranking, or the high-rankingest magician.
Let's just quick quote Matthew 23 that I know so well, just to make this perfectly clear. And Matthew 23 verse 1 says, "Then spake Jesus to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat." What are they doing right here? Claiming that Moses was who?
Yeah, just Madame Blavatsky, such a theosophy from the 19th century, sorry. And
I can see, Michael, this is why occultic books are going to divert the reader away from the Bible and into this theosophical teaching that will completely destroy any faith.
Of course, they have to see Moses as a magician because they cannot believe in Jesus Christ. So Jesus Christ also for them is a magician. And Moses is a head of a magician because he could tame the serpent. So that is the same allegory as Aesculapius, who is the so-called god of medicine, who has that staff of Aesculapius, where all the doctors, physicians, and medicus of today are following that cult because they all bear the same symbol.
It's very interesting how the enemy uses the Bible against
absolutely
the true believers of Christ.
Freemason also does that. They try to convince you that Lucifer brings enlightenment. Yeah.
But anyway, if anyone wants to go into more detail, that is a very strong rebuke of Jesus there in Matthew 23, and I suggest that you study it at your own pace, because it is revealed a lot to me, Michael. I'll tell you that. And you don't want to rush through these things. Haste does make waste.
Yeah, the thing is that she's quoting your sources like SOD, The Mysteries of Adonis, and all these books. You see that if one liar is quoting the book of another liar, what is the outcome? It's not far-fetched. Yeah,
well, and this is the beginning of double-mindedness too. And what does the Bible say? We're not to be double-minded. You can't serve both God and mammon. It's not compatible at all.
The main aspect is here that she is quoting that Hermes, the god of wisdom, is also called Thought and Satan. That is, for me, that's the ultimate quote of Blavatsky.
The ultimate admission, Mike.
Admission, yes. And so it's exchangeable if you are following Thought or Hermes or Satan. Yeah, you see that's all.
Or Set.
Yeah.
I've heard it pronounced Seb as well. I don't know why, but
yeah.
Yeah, it's like the IHS, Isis, Horus, Seb.
Yeah, later on we will also see that the first sentence of the tabula or the emerald table has also been mentioned by Carl Gustav Jung, the world famous psychology analyst, so-called follower of Sigmund Freud, which is alchemy studies. You see that if you don't get it yet by now, if you need another 40-50 sessions, I'm absolutely fine. There will come so many proof that all the people, the big people in life, they are simply following the path of the serpent, nothing else. You have to. So Hermes Trismegistus, the three high Hermes, has been named also Thought. It's the teacher of all magical and cultural creating abilities of the old Egyptians in the hieroglyphs, in the Egyptian Book of the Dead, in alchemy, astrology, as the holy geometry or sacred geometry, philosophy, etc. Translated, it means Hermes Trismegistus, the three high sacred one, the god of the gods and the master of masters. Yeah, and so that's the same Hermes as Thought, as we have mentioned. So, as Madame Blavatsky said, so Thought is the guy with the ankh, the Egyptian god of magic, magie, magic, science, and writers, and wisdom, and the calendar. Sorry that this is German, but you got a German guy here who can translate it back in English. So, magic, science, magic and science, it's the same in the occult. In the text of the pyramids, Thought was the god of the West. And he has a staff. He has a staff. And the Greek one, they said, oh, it's the same as our Hermes. What is very interesting, because I think it will soon come a depiction of the staff of Hermes. So Thought in the Greek mythology is been set up with it's the same as Hermes. And later on, it's been mingled together as Hermes Trismegistos. So Hermes Trismegismus is actually the mingling together of thought and Hermes. In Platon's dialogue Phaedrus 274 to 275, Socrates mentions the Egyptian god Thet and his development of scripture, but has been accused negatively from the king of Theban. Yeah, here comes a quote of The Origin of the History of Science in Classical Antiquity von Leonid Schmuth. Yeah. The reference to the Egyptian god Thoth points to Plato's dialogue Phaedrus, where, for the first time in the Greek tradition, this god is called the protos hieroitos of numbers and counting, arithmetic, geometry, astronomy, writing, and even the games of drawth and dice. Interesting, Aristoxenos refers not to Plato, but directly to the Egyptians, probably taking Socrates' story of thought inventions as historical evidence. Meanwhile, Phaedrus himself seemed to regard this story as Socrates' fabrication, as he does the story of cicadas preceding it. You know where it all leads to. Nothing of it is truth. It's the same as the Testament of Solomon in the Apocryphal. It's the same. Yeah, it's the same. Hence, Plato gives the reader to understand that the story should not be taken too seriously, which does not mean, however, that we ought not to look for possible sources, both Greek and Egyptian, because they all have mingled together, of the tradition which thought figure as the inventor of sciences. He cannot be the inventor of sciences because he never existed. My, that cannot be that complicated, can it, Brad?
No.
Though thought had been known to the Greeks under the name of Hermes at least since the founding of Nocratias, which took place in the 7th century before Christ, Plato was the first to mention him under his own name. Relying on the Egyptian tradition and, yeah, there we stop. So you see that I have several sources, but even that sources, they cannot verify it because the one is claiming this, the other source is claiming that, and we should not be taken too seriously. Yeah? Never existed. Never existed. All the mythology is just fairy tales for adults. Huh? Look at the author. It's Alistair Crowley once again. I don't know if you have missed him, but he's quite frequently in my sessions because he's a central figure in everything which is about mythology, magic, and Satanism. Alistair Crowley wrote the Book of Thought, where he tried to teach the talent or the ability of foreseeing with the help of his thought tarot deck and the mythological backgrounds. In the novel American Gods of Neil Gaiman, thought, which never existed, was being made public here under the alias of Mr. Ibis. Yeah, like that animal has a
funeral home.
Funeral home. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, the Crowley tarot is from the occultist, which I say that is not an occultist but a Satanist, Alistair Crowley tarot deck, one of the most frequent and best-selling tarot decks of the world, the Book of Thought, the god of magic and science of the Egypts. Crowley said this is not his own writing, but the result of divine inspiration. So he got it like automatic writing. This is like the Liber 777, a compilation of esoteric things. We can go into that later on, but this is the Book of Thought, Egyptian Tarot from Alistair Crowley. So what does that tell you? The Egyptian god of magic and science. This is an excerpt of the Book of Crowley, where he explains where all the background is, what the princesses of empresses represent Earth, etc., etc., etc. You don't, please don't follow the lines of Alistair Crowley. Also, there are many faults in that, and there are people who have sorted out all the things. For example, Israel Regardie is one of them, and there is another guy which will soon be subject of our studies. So I just want to see that you see that we can go into the Romans, but when we know that the Greek took from the Medo-Persians and the Babylonians, from Pythagoras and from the Egypts, like in this Thoth and Hermes Trismegistus mixture of all the Egyptians and Greece goddess, yeah, then I think you are not very surprised to learn that the caduceus of Hermes, the staff with the two intermingling serpents, is also the staff of the United States Medical Corps, or aren't you? It's the same. The staff of the caduceus is it's the staff of the ruling staff of Hermes, of the god of magic and so-called science. So if you have the staff of Asclepius with one serpent, or have your staff of Hermes, which is the god of magic, what does that tell you when the United States Medical Corps uses the staff of the so-called Greek god of magic and science, which is the same as the Egyptian Thoth? People are worshipping images and idols. We don't have to go into back to the script of medicine, but you see that this is the medical corps using the staff of Hermes. So what's the difference? Yeah, there are two snakes, but it's another pagan Greek god which had never existed. People are. This is a symbol of worship of magic, actually. Or everything which has a snake in its symbol is more or less. Yeah, you see, once when you have realized that we have been betrayed big time, yeah, then you don't need to follow word by word. It says that the staff of Asclepius in the World Health Organization, which is the abbreviation is WHO, WHO, who is behind it? Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah, isn't that far-fetched? World Health Organization. Who? So the Asclepius staff of Asclepius is a staff with a snake, and historically, usually he was seen as the attribute of Asclepius, the god of medicine in the Greek mythology. But today he's a symbol of the medical and pharmaceutical profession. Oh, what's the difference? No difference. They're using still the same symbol, and pharmakeia means sorcery. Yeah. And so Asclepius, or Aesculapo Asclepios, is the god of medicine and of Greek origin. He's the son of Apollo and of Coronis, because Coronis was unfaithful to the god of. He saved the unborn child. Sometimes I think we are in the twilight zone. Absolutely. Also, it is so obvious to me that things and other people are absolutely don't get the content, and that makes me very sad, actually. Yeah. Also, this year in the twilight zone to serve man, this is a sophistic thing. There's a spiral. Spirals is a symbol for hypnosis. It's also a Greek thing. It's the god of sleep, I think. Is hypnosis the god of sleep? You see, we are using hypnosis. We are using pagan. No. Hypnos. 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 Yeah, there it is. Yes. I was correct. Yeah. In Greek mythology, Hypnos is the personification of sleep. The Roman equivalent is as somnus, insomnia. Somebody? His name is the origin of the word hypnosis. Hypnosis is a human condition involving focused attention, reduced peripheral awareness, and an enhanced capacity to respond to suggestion. No, it is the pagan worship of Hypnos. My. It's always the same. It's new speech. Yeah, that doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that anymore.
George
No.
Orwell, 1984.
Yes. No. Mankind has been visited from aliens, so I think that we will soon hear something about it. That is for a later session here. Yeah. To serve man. Yeah. I don't know if people know that episode. It's hilarious, that episode, because actually.
Yeah. But what are you serving man by doing this? Yeah.
Yeah, to serve man. Later on, they found out that has quite a different meaning. You see, this is also a depiction here from Baalbek temple, human sacrifice worship to Baal. No surprise, because that's just another name of Satan. Huh? There is proof. There are many people who are claiming, no, there's no proof, and Wikipedia says, no, maybe some legends. And yeah, there is proof. Yeah, of course. As there were human sacrifices and the worshipping of pagan gods, what would you expect? Of course, it's a cultural heritage of UNESCO. Of course, must be, because UNESCO is always protecting pagan rites and pagan sacred places and temples, etc. Yeah. And for this, for example, this the Twilight Zone episode, the home planet of the extraterrestrials is Canaanites, not by accident bred from Canaanites. Yeah, so Canaanites, and they at the latest scene of that episode. Secretary cries, "Mr. Chambers, don't get on that spaceship." The rest of the book, to serve man, it's a cookbook. Yeah, but a Canaanite blocks him, and the ship flips off. It's a cookbook. Of course, there are Canaanites. You see that it's so easy. It is so easy. It is so easy. Yeah. The site of Baalbek temple is supposed to be 8,000 years old, or 8,000 years before Christ. Cannot be. It's famous for his enormous amounts of temples. Among them, the Jupiter Sacred Temple, one of the biggest sacred sites of the Roman Empire, and many others, and etc., etc. And so they have to be protected, of course, because the goal of the United Nations is to protect all the paganism in the world. Yeah, and so you see that Canaanites are Canaanites in that episode. It's a cookbook, and in Moses 9:25, this is German. Says that. Moses 9:25, we go to this. Moses 9:25. This is Genesis in English. I hope it's the right book of Moses, because in German we have the first to fifth books of Moses. Yeah. There it is. And he said, "Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren." Cursed be Canaan. Yeah. So Canaanites is, their sons and their daughters sacrificed to the idols of Canaan. And you can name it Baal, you can name it Milcom, like it's been said that Solomon served Milcom, etc., etc., etc. And in Psalms 106:38, would you like to read it?
Sure. "And shed innocent blood, even the blood of their sons and of their daughters, whom they sacrificed unto idols of Canaan, and the land was polluted with blood."
Yeah, so that every time that somebody is serving a pagan god, yeah, he's giving away his life, either by blood, so his physical body, or his soul, actually.
that was the end of everything which had to do with the middleman image of the Babylonian Empire, the Medo-Persian Empire, the Greek Empire, and also the Roman Empire, because from now on we know that everything has been handed over and mingled together, and from that on we don't have to go into the Roman Empire, because I have prepared a history timeline from the beginning of time, and we will go point for point in the things that you really see where all things are related, from the Tower of Babel to Moses to the temple of King David to Nineveh to Plato, etc. And I think that that will be a wild ride, and this would be the session which connects then the former 40 sessions about the ancient times to the newer times, to the Middle Ages, and to our so-called modern times. I think that's very interesting to have it very short and intense reading the next time, that we have some facts, that we see that, oh, everything is being connected together. That will save us, I hope, at least a lot of time. So thank you very much for having me, and handing it over to my beloved brother Brett from here on.
Thanks, Michael. And boy, I always learn something with these sessions, and certainly when you've studied any of this occultism that comes out of Alexandria, you always have to be ready to accept that you know.
In my humble opinion, Alexandria was just the melting pot of everything they collected and assorted, and they made like a schematic. Yeah, you see that. Sure. Oh, this is bam, 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 bam. So available for the next generation, and so they have collected everything. But the origin of it is coming from all the world. And the Greeks did not invent the most of the things, but they had simply written it down, because also they had the chance of doing so with their papyri. So that is my approach.
They recorded it, yes.
Yeah, they recorded it, exactly, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was the beginning of the great pantheon of worldly thought, let's call it, instead of obeying God's commandments and following his instruction. So yeah. It's the opposite. Well said, Michael, and that'll do it for the session today, and looking forward to the next one. God bless and Maranatha.